All right, I'm going in to check a couple cameras here on a permission farm, and I thought I would film a little piece about one of my favorite stands, probably of all time, downwind side of bedding. And what makes this spot great for archery is there's a ditch crossing. So not only are you on the downwind side of bedding, there's a ditch crossing there to keep the deer in bow range. Access is perfect. The truck is right here. I'm right next to the road. I don't want to film where the truck is or the road just in case somebody might recognize it. But I'm gonna get behind the camera and I'm gonna show you my access to this stand. It's pretty open actually, which makes access pretty good because I can get in quiet. It's a mowed path. I come in here in August and mow this path right to the tree stand so Amy and I can hunt it. And then when I get in there, I'll explain a little bit why this tree stand is so sweet and why it's one of my favorites. It's not my all-time favorite. I might just fast forward different parts of this, but you can see walking in, I got this path mowed down here. There's a pretty good deer trail on here. But you got to remember, this is February, snow just melted. Probably looks a little bit more substantial than what it really is in real life in the fall. Got a rub here and a scrape on this road. There's a trail going back in there. There's my camera. So you can see I can come in. You can probably hear my feet squishing, but I mow this as low to the ground as I can to keep access pretty quiet coming in here. And like I said, this is pretty open, which is good because I don't want to be bumping deer on the way in. And this is a permission farm, so I have done no habitat work. But it's got a pretty good, I don't know, 20 acre maybe piece of really thick river bottom and some cedars, and it's really good bedding habitat. And the way I hunt it, I don't ever go into that piece, and I just really hunt this fringe. So this trail actually keeps going the backside of the property, but right here I turn and I come into my ladder stand. And I like to access this on windy days so I can get right up tight next to this bedding area. Boy, look at the trails in here. Like I said, it looks more than what it really is because it's so wet and muddy. Right here in this big black walnut, I got my ladder stand. So I'm just gonna pan. You can see from here, it kind of gets really thick in there. So I'm right on the edge of the bedding area. So I'm right on the edge, which is where I want to be. It's downwind of bedding because I come and I hunt this particular stand with a south wind. If I was to hunt the other side of the bedding, let's say 300 yards that way, then I'd be hunting it with a north wind or a northwest wind. So let's just take a look here. Now that we're in here, I wanted to show you my access because that's so important. The stand is right there, and let me just show you. There's a couple ditches in here. So I don't know if that's sun, but it's a pretty substantial ditch back up and through here, and the deer can cross it, don't get me wrong, but here's these ditch crossings excuse me, right through here where the ditch kind of tapers off and they really come through here. Tree stand is right there. We're about 15 yards from it right now. See how this ditch is kind of nasty? See how that ditch is, the banks are steep? Like I said, they can do that if they want, but they don't want to. I don't know if we can see this on this camera here, but right here, big ditch crossing. Let me just move the camera here, get this angle here for you. Should probably be on the other side with the sun so you can get a better look. But here's this ditch. Like I said, they can cross this if they want to, but they'll take the path the least resistance. And right here, some pretty good ditch crossings. I'm sorry, maybe the camera's moving a little bit too fast here, but see these trails pounded? And then right up there, not in that big tree, let me see here, right here. There's my stand. So to these main crossings right here, about a 25-yard shot, and then everything here is all thick bedding habitat, river bottom. There's some cedars way back up in there. So what makes this a good spot? Downwind bedding. You can hunt this basically from the end of October until the end of November, all day long, and see deer. And what makes it a killer spot is these ditch crossings. Let me just show you another angle here. See how steep that is? And it's wet. They don't like crossing that. They will, they can, but they'll take these better crossings over here, which is what puts them in bow range. So I hope that helps a little bit. Kind of illustrate, or you can see downwind side of bedding, ditch crossing. Combine the two, killer spot. I want to take it to another spot we call North Ditch Crossing behind the house. This stand, we've killed more mature bucks, seen more mature bucks, and passed more mature bucks up than probably any other stand, I'm trying to think, that I've ever hunted in my life. And it's just a really small piece of woods we got here that Amy and I own, but it combines three things. It combines a brushy fence row, which is back here. I'll try and show you that in a little bit. An inside corner with this cow pasture that I'm standing in right now, and a ditch crossing. That's why we call it the North Ditch. So here's our access through this cow pasture. I'm walking in the cow pasture right now. And then we come up, whoa, slippery. We come up to this kind of ladder here. Let me see if I can show you this ladder. Made this little wooden ladder to cross this barbed wire fence. So let's go over this ladder. Makes for easy crossing. Oh, I guess there's a little squeak there. I'll have to fix that. But kind of want to show you guys access to these stands as we go. So through that cow pasture, I didn't take you the whole way, but it's about a half-a-mile walk. And then we come in through here, and this is all cleared out like late August, early September. And here's our ladder stand. Now, there's a ranger. I actually came in from here today to film, but I would never come in this way. I would always access from the cow pasture behind and then up the ladder stand. It's brushed in a little bit with some Christmas tree. And that right next to this is a big black walnut. That tree is an Osage orange or hedge apple, and it holds leaves way in the fall. So it's actually a lot more cover up there than what you realize. This field in here, you hear me talk about, we don't like hunting our food plots. This isn't a food plot. This is actually where our agriculture starts. And when I combined this year, I just left, I don't know, maybe 1.5 acres of corn here for a late muzzleloader hunt. So sweeten the pot up a little bit. I add a mock scrape right here. There's a licking branch. There's your mock scrape. Turn around here. So now I'm facing north. We hunt it with a south wind. I'm facing north. And here's your ditch crossing. It actually forks off right here. There's one there. You can probably see the crossing back in there, the dirt. And then here's another one. I don't want to go too far down here and do the skid and flip because it's pretty muddy and there's ice under the mud, but you can see right here they cross. So Over here's your inside corner, and I'll try and get over there without doing the skid and flip and see what we can do. But they cross this ditch. Imagine a buck walking out through here. He's gonna come out to these combine corn or combine beans. He's gonna hit this mock scrape real quick. I'm walking like this, and right there I am, already pulled back. A deer's dead. Perfect setup. I'm gonna shut the camera off. I'm gonna try and get to the other side, show the other tree stand, and kind of that inside corner a little bit. So the best I can do here is I'm standing on the corner. So this is the inside corner, so you can see that edge. I hope you can see how that edge goes north. And then if I stand right here at this corner post, and the fence here, it goes east. So this is the inside corner. Back there's the ranger, and that's standing at walnut. And then I have another stand actually in the cow pasture right here, brushed in pretty good. So I'll hunt this with the wind blowing out that way. My access is through the cow pasture. Turn this around a little bit here. So up there's the stand. I'll access through the cow pasture, come in, perfect access, up the tree with the wind in my face. Right here's those ditch crossings. Inside corner. I can flip this around. I hope this isn't confusing. But right here is the inside corner that I just showed you. And then that is a brushy fence row. It's hard to see it, but it's about, oh boy, I don't know, a quarter mile long. And it's a pretty good fence. It's a pretty good fence, brushy fence row. So bucks will cruise that brushy fence row, and instead of crossing that fence, so you got this inside corner, they'll wrap right around and then come right down through here, across this ditch. 15-yard shot, maybe not even. So why do I have two tree stands about 50 yards apart? Well, it's so I can switch up between the two. That one is closer to the corn and the beans. I don't like being close to corn and beans, even though it's not a food plot. If they're feeding out there, I'd rather be in this stand because I'm farther away from that food source. I'm hunting the same travel pattern, but I'm farther away. So anytime you can combine different features like a fence jump or a gate opening with a fence, or a brushy fence line, inside corner, ditch crossing, downwind side of bedding, a funnel, connecting timbered points. Anytime you can combine those and get 1, 2, or 3 or 4 of them, the stand just gets better and better and better. So real quick, I just want to show you something here. So I got this fence row, right? Can I get it in the camera here? Yeah, here we go. I got this fence row right here. So we talk about fence jumps. Where the fence ends, you'll have where they'll wrap around the fence, or maybe a gate opening. Just want to turn this now and show you. This kind of fence is the best, where you have this wire, this woven wire, because just a straight up barbed wire, deer can crawl through that if it's just barbed wire. This should actually be higher. Should actually have another barbed wire strand through here. About one more would be good. But I just want to show you. Look where all the deer are crossing. See where this is broke? See where this fence is broke? Look at where all the deer are crossing. So brushy fence row. Fence is broke. This is where they're crossing. Let's go take a look at probably my best fence jump stand on the farm. This isn't it. All right, I didn't walk all the way in. I want to show you this fence jump stand. We call this the south ditch crossing. I got the ranger right here, but I wanted to show you I'm probably 3/4 of the way in here. But again, mowed path.
And this
turn
is
the
basically
camera and
a
just
trout. There's
show
an old, give you my view here. That's an old tree house my kids used to play in back home.
So nice, quiet,
We hauled
mowed
it over
path.
here to our new house. All thick cover. When we bought this farm, this was wide open. That's all thick cover. Deer bed all in through there. I don't even know if you can see how maybe thick it is back in there. All thick cover. But so right on the edge here, and we turn and we go right up. And there's your ladder stand. That probably needs to be brushed in a little better, but it looks kind of open. But let's just go past that now. Let me just show you here. So we're on a trail here, and then right up there's a mock scrape. I'll show you that. But this over here was all canary grass when we bought this farm. It's just like a, I don't know, quarter acre. We killed that canary grass off, and now that's cave and rock switchgrass. Excuse me, but I mow a trail along the edge of this so that bucks cruise right down along this edge and then right past, right through here. So here's your mock scrape. There's a scrape, there's a licking branch. Actually, part of it broke off, so I'm gonna have to redo this. But if we go this way, here's a fence jump, fence crossing. So this fence is not in the best shape. It's just not. It's 5 strands. Some spots it's 4 strands. I think you can see this. But all I did here was pull it down. That's all I did. And they're using this like crazy, coming in and out of here. I hope this shows it. So they jump the fence, come right down through, and I come back, I mow this about the time I put fall food plots in. So like around Labor Day, I'll come and I'll mow this path. And then coming along here, this mock scrape. Oh, there's my tree stand. So my wife and I are right-handed, so we're facing east, right off our left shoulder. Boom, 20-yard shot. Mock scrape. So that's your fence jump. Then of course I have this path. You can see these, there's a trail here pounded down pretty good. It's starting to get late in the day, so you get some longer shadows here, harder to see probably. I'll just stop here for a second, show you how thick it is in there. This was all wide open box elder and black walnut. Now they bed in there. So why are they crossing here? Well, you got a fence jump in combination with, look at that ditch crossing. Look at that. And then up in there is picked corn, or cut corn I should say. Isn't that crazy? And I think it actually wise off there. Sure it does. It comes through here too. Look at that ditch crossing. Look at that. So that's why they're coming through here. You got this little mowed path. You don't need to have the mowed path. I do it probably because I like to play on my tractor probably more than I should, but and a mock scrape, fence jump in combination with a ditch crossing. And then I usually, this is tore up, but where this log is, I usually put a camera right here. So I'll put a camera and I'll just face this camera right on this mock scrape right here. A lot of bucks come through here, a lot of bucks. We passed up a lot of bucks. I can't say we've ever killed one here. Not that we couldn't have, but we passed up a lot of bucks and we've seen a lot of nice bucks here. So there you go. Fence jump in combination with a ditch crossing.
Showed you a couple stands. I think maybe, what, 3 stands I showed you. Those are kind of the features, the 7, if you want to call it, spots that we go. So my favorite, should actually just stop here and mention this. My favorite spot is downwind side of bedding in combination with like a fence or a ditch or something, but downwind side of bedding, that's my favorite. And it's my favorite because I like to hunt as much as I possibly can. If I have good access, entrance and exit, and I'm hunting that downwind side of bedding, I can just hunt those spots a lot. As long as I'm careful, and I can sit there all day long, so I can get a lot of hours in on those spots. Those are my favorite. And one last thing, and you'll see deer all day long because you're really close to bedding. Those are my favorite spots, downwind side of bedding. The most effective spots for killing deer, probably a fence jump or ditch crossing, and a fence jump or a gate opening or the ends of a fence are probably the most effective for 2 reasons. One, because they just are effective and there's fences all over the place, especially in farm country or where there's cows. And 2, you can make one. So if you don't have a fence and you want a fence jump or a gate opening or the end of a fence to really funnel deer, you can actually install a fence. I've done this, my son has done this, my clients have done this. You put in 200-300 yards of fence where you want to put it, where you want the deer to cross, put in your fence jump, or you just leave a little opening for them, and you got a awesome spot to kill deer. So it might cost you $1,000 to put 200-300 yards of fence in, and you'd say, why would anybody do that? Well, I'll tell you what, that $1,000 is better spent than any new camo, new bow, broadheads, ozone generators. I don't even know what the list is anymore of all the stuff that's out there, and it lasts forever, almost forever. You can get 20-30 years out of one of these fences you build and have great hunting. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed that little tree stand series. Give you a little tour. Thanks for watching, and come back when you see some more videos posted.